Gracious Father, we thank you for bringing us here today, and we ask, Lord, for your wisdom. We ask, Lord, for discernment and the ability to do just the right thing. So please guide us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, everyone, announcements for items discussed in closed session.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we will make a further announcement at the end. We have recessed the remainder of closed session until the end of the meeting, and at the conclusion of that, come back in. Give it report out.
Thank you. And number 2, agenda approval. Any additions or deletions?
I make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Motion made by Supervisor Bridges,
Second.
seconded by Supervisor Alba. Anybody from the public? Seeing none, we'll bring it back up here for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're going to go to public comment for items that are not on the agenda. Anybody?
Good morning, I'm Jerry Askey. I've been a resident in Lassen County for 20 years. Since retirement 15 years ago, I have been doing volunteer work for different organizations. One of them is Find a Grave. Volunteers take pictures of memorials around the world so family members can see memorials where their loved ones are buried. In requests emailed to me from Find a Grave, I have been directed to local cemeteries, including Diamond Crest and Johnstonville. I mentioned Diamond Crest because, according to a local funeral director, approximately 25 burials occur there annually, as the other locations are mostly full. If a person is looking for a family member's memorial / headstone and know which section they are in, the signage at the cemetery is almost unreadable due to water damage on the sign, and there are no markers to identify the sections. I have 2 family members buried at Diamond Crest and 3 family members buried at Sunset Hill Cemetery in Corning. In Corning, there is a nicely made waterproof wooden display case with a computer-drawn map showing all of the sections, and they have attractive posts in each of the sections with letters showing which section it is. I have sent pictures to 2 of the supervisors here. I would like to see improvements made at our cemeteries to make them more user-friendly and attractive, especially Diamond Crest, as is currently the one most used. I have some ideas and will help as much as I have time for. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else that would like to make public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will close public comment. Going to move to unagendized reports. My board members. Jason, you want to start us off?
Sure. Last week we prepped the 2 rooms to get ready for USDA inspection across the street from the Doyle Community Center. As everybody knows, the Resource Center in Herlong has lost their funding and no longer have a building, and the Salvation Army and myself picked up the slack so we can continue our food distributions. Well, we lost power and water at the Resource Center, so we kind of just been up in the air for the last month. So my good friend James the Aussie thought it'd be a good idea to team up with the Doyle Seniors. They've already got their Food Bank of Northern Nevada approval. Now we just got to get these 2 rooms finished and painted tomorrow, or no, tomorrow's Wednesday. And they'll be inspected by the USDA, and we can further our food pantry in Doyle. This afternoon, also the 4-H is holding an open house in Jensen Hall. root beer floats, come on down, and the carcass contest is this evening for all of the exhibitors from the fair, and the kids are going to be very happy because they get their checks at the pavilion at 6:30. I know my kids are going to be happy. Also, in between time, I'm meeting with another solar investor looking to move in to tie into the Skedaddle project and sell their solar energy to NV Energy. I'll be talking more about that later. And that's all I got for now. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks. Mr. Alba? Last week I attended the Fair Advisory Board meeting down there at Jensen Hall. They had a very good turnout as far as the public goes, and there was actually a very large amount of constructive comments and positive comments, and I was very pleased about that. Anyway, and there was lots of kudos from all the Fair Advisory Board members and the fair manager. Directed at you, Mr. Navy, for the hard work and dedication you put in down there at this year's fair. It was impressive, which you could have been there to hear. But anyway, there's lots of good thank you letters written from the kids because the Fair Advisory Board, I think they helped raise the beef prices. There was lots of very nice letters there the kids wrote. So anyway, it was a good meeting. Also on Saturday, I attended the Craig Hemphill and Cheryl Lawrence's retirement party. Very nice turnout again. Went down to RCRC this last week as well. Had a good meeting down there. I was on the predatory animal ad hoc committee for RCRC, so that'll be starting up in like October. Probably be our first meeting, just checking with everything. Let's see, Napa County won the photo contest, and of course our September annual meeting is going to be in Tahoe, and of course we have the annual basket giveaway, so I'm putting together a basket for Lassen County. If anybody's got any good ideas or want to add something to it, just get a hold of me and let me know. Maury, I'd like to encourage you to go to that if you can make that. For that. Because I knew we have a CAO session and whatnot. Good networking for you for that. And with that, I guess that's all I got. I'll leave there.
All right,
Mr.
Bridges. Okay, on the 14th, I attended a small meeting with Doug Lamalfa down at the pizza factory. There was a handful of people down there, very, very interesting and productive meeting. And then later that evening, I attended his town hall meeting at Jensen Hall. There's about 150 to 200 people there, I think. Then on the 16th, I attended a retirement party for Craig Hemphill and Cheryl Larston. That was really an emotional event. There was a lot of comments made about the job that both of them have done and what all they've done for Lassen County. What a great afternoon and evening. It touched my heart because Jerry Hemphill, Craig's dad, I've known him all my life. He was a vet, and his buttons were popping with pride with the comments that were given about his son. If you got children, you can understand exactly what I mean. It was just a great event. I also attended the 100-year celebration up at Lassen College. That was pretty cool. I learned something that I didn't know. Their first mascot was a camel. I'm glad they changed it to the Cougars. Somebody said, was it one hump or two? I said, I have no idea. And then yesterday I was invited, and we'll continue with a bi-monthly meeting with Assemblywoman Heather Hadwick from the 1st District, and it's a 1st District Connect meeting. And there's quite a few people involved, and going to see if we can put our heads together and improve our entire district. So, Mr. Alba, your wife was even invited on that call and had some incredible input. So I'll tell her I said thank you. With that, I'll turn it over to you.
Cool. Yeah, I attended the same small group meeting with Congressman Lamalfa, and then later attended the town hall. And I thought it was overall a positive event. And I met with the fair manager regarding the fair board, just kind of getting educated on that a little bit. And then later today, I've got a Winter Lake Valley Recreation pool meeting.
Yeah, so today we have, Honey Lake Valley, full meeting and I was unable to, attend, retirement for Cheryl and Craig, but, both of them, you know, are very dedicated people to Lassen County and I wish them nothing but the best. We're going to be, it's going to be big shoes to fill, but I know that Craig left us with some good people down there. So, and that's all I got.
No.
No,
That was a birthday cake for your grandson.
it was fantastic.
Okay.
Was he happy?
It was it was great. I got to see both of my grandsons this week, and it was awesome. And I need to get down there more. Okay. We'll take a few minutes for our we'll do these. Yeah. We'll move on to G, the information and consent calendar. Is there anything that,
I'd like to pull G2, please.
B2? Okay. Is there anything else?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the rest of the consent calendar.
Okay. Supervisor Ingram made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Supervisor Scanlon, second it. Is there anybody from the public that would like to comment on that? Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We'll move on to G2.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I am Grace Kaur. I am the program manager for the Housing and Grants Division of Community and Social Services, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have about this MOU.
As I began to read through this, it's just looking at the fiscal impact. This MOU allows for a grant application that may bring in funding for future fiscal year budget. Is this an actual contract or is this an application for a grant? What is it?
It is an MOU between the 7 counties of the NorCal Continuum of Care that allows us to apply for a grant. So one of the requirements to apply for the grant was to work collaboratively with the other jurisdictions in your area, in your region, and our region is the 7 county COC. So we had to implement this MOU in order to apply for funding, and the MOU outlines how we work together to both apply for the funding and then if we get awarded it.
So it's not an actual contract, just the application.
Yeah, it's an agreement between the 7 counties of how to apply for the funding and how to move forward if we receive the funding. So it's not a contract with the state for the funding at this time.
And does each county have to fill out their own application? Was it
It's one application
for all
7 counties.
7 counties?
Correct. Each county needs to sign the MOU and then can choose how to use their individual allocation.
Okay. And I noticed that, as I went through it, the county council hadn't yet approved it as to form. Is it necessary or is that
I mean, it's not a contract, it's just an it's like an enabling MOU, so it's not really binding us for anything. We're happy to look at it,
Thank you.
It's not a big risk.
Why should we apply for the grant?
It's funding to support our housing services for the community. The majority of it will go to pay for staff time. So that's staff time for outreach, staff time for implement case management, staff time for even some management of some of the grants that we have. So it's a needed funding to sustain our housing and grants division. It's the 6th round of the funding. We've gotten the first 5 rounds of funds and have successfully, well, we're in round 4 now. We haven't started spending round 5, but so far we've successfully used those funds and they've benefited our community.
And use them to house people that need
Yeah, it's
housing or
primarily for staff time to support people who are experiencing homelessness or at imminent risk of homelessness to get into housing. So it pays for staff time from the very intake process. So when someone calls in and needs a resource, to the intake that we complete with staff, with clients, to the actual services that we provide, like outreach. So when we go out in the field and go out to the river to try to support people or go to crossroads, or when people walk in our office asking for help or support, it pays for our staff to implement those services.
I'm on behavioral health board and I understand why you really need this. You spend a lot of staff time in that area, so I appreciate you applying for this. So thank you.
Thank you.
any other questions? Yes.
How many people do you help? On average, a year?
I do not have that number off the top of my head. We track that per grant. We probably do 20 new intakes a month. And we probably have about, I have to do a rough estimate, 50 people who are receiving ongoing services. We would provide a range of services. Some people just get initial connection to resources, a little bit of information. Some people get minimal, like help with filling out housing applications. And then we have 50 or so people that are receiving intensive services. So that's regular case management, maybe some financial assistance. So I would say on an ongoing basis, about 50 active clients and then 20 new individuals coming in for intakes. And then we get, I don't know, dozens of calls per day of people asking for housing resources. And some of them are just people who need a little bit of information and then others need a lot of help. But if the board is interested, we could definitely put together some statistics and bring it all together and present to the board.
Okay, so as a follow-up then, so the 20 new people that you have come in on a monthly basis, how many of those are locals and how many of those are from out of the area just coming up here to try to get the resources? They don't get it somewhere else.
I would say, and again, this is just off the top of my head, rough estimate, 90% are local. For the folks that are passing through, generally, we can connect with Crossroads and get them to where they're going. But the majority of the people are either people who have been here a long time or people who have strong connections here, like people who have family or friends here. The majority of people are people that have been here for many, many years.
Do you see a seasonal uptick with your need winter versus summer?
We actually, I think we see a seasonal uptick in the winter because that's when it's cold. I think people can maybe, I don't know, just when people have higher needs, it feels like in the winter, we see more people.
Yeah, as you know, I mean, I've always kind of struggled with this and it seems like we always get ourselves in deeper trouble by doing some of this stuff sometimes. And I'm not a callous man, but I also, you know, I don't know. This is a very hard pill for me to swallow and it always has been. You know that. It's nothing personal against you.
I understand that for sure. If it would help, we could definitely, Jason and I could bring back some housing statistics from both our department and Lassen Works, which also provides housing services, more so to families. But we could provide some information on how these grants really impact our community in a good way.
Yes.
I'd also be curious, you mentioned it's a lot of it's for paying for staff
Mhm.
and staff time. I'd kind of like to see the ratio between the dollars that go to staff time and salaries versus what actually goes to the people that are getting a hotel room or what, how the resources are going to them.
For sure, and we can bring back a full picture of that, because some of our grants pay more for this, for staff, and then some of our grants are really more service heavy, where they're paying for the direct services like the motels or the rent. So we could bring back a full picture of that.
Cool, that'd be great.
Yes.
Can part of that presentation be like the success stories that
Yes.
come out of helping people off the river, getting them back to be working and productive members of society, and that kind of story is? part
Yeah,
of the presentation?
we have amazing success stories, and I could, we might even be able to ask some individuals. We've had people we've served in the past say that they want to share their stories, so we might even be able to ask some individuals to come share their stories.
I'm just curious what that
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah, we would love to do that.
Anybody from the public like to comment on this? Okay, seeing none, bring it back up here for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the MOU and authorize the county administrative officer to execute.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Scanlon, seconded by Supervisor Alba.
No, Bridges.
Oh,
All right, that's okay.
so
Bridge bond.
here, let me
I
redo
took it as
that.
a compliment.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, motion made by Supervisor Scanlon and second by Supervisor Bridges, sorry.
That's all right, not a problem.
And, all those in favor,
Aye.
opposed?
No. Thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
Okay, we are going to move to our time certain for a recognition award.
Thank you for your compliment. Just sitting there, oh, I'm secure.
Okay, it's on it. In appreciation for your 10 years of employment with Lassen County, we, the Lassen County Board of Supervisors, would like to take this opportunity to present you with this certificate of recognition and thank you for the time and effort and commitment that you have for the county. Thank you. Joe? All right, you can't leave yet. Everybody's supposed to come.
So I just want to say thank you, Anna, for being here for 10 years. I can't believe it's been 10. I know. But I have to tell the board that she's been an amazing worker. We've been without a fiscal officer for almost 2 years now. And she has stepped up to take over some of those responsibilities and doing with pride and diligence and just with all the effort that most people would say, hey, that's not my job. I'm not going to take on that responsibility. So I have to give her and of course Jennifer some kudos for doing some of those tasks that are very difficult and very hard. So for you to stick around for 10 years and to continue to be with the county, I just have to say thank you so much and kudos to you. So please don't leave.
I just want to thank you because a lot of times behavioral health is a very, I wouldn't say neglected, but people have no idea the amount of work that goes into behavioral health. Being on the board, I understand.
It's
So,
eye-opening once you
and
get
you,
there.
and you've done way more than I even know. So with that, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It's a blessing for Lassen County. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to, D2, the Department of Child Support Services Proclamation.
I hate public speaking. All right. Good morning, gentlemen of the board. Chris Sullivan, Assistant Director for Lassen County Child Support Department. I'm here this morning to present a proclamation for Child Support Awareness Month. August has been recognized as Child Support Awareness Month by the federal government since 1995. It has been Child Support Awareness Month since 2001 in California. I've attached a small info sheet to your packet. We were just here a couple weeks ago and we kind of gave you an overview of the department, so I'm making it short and sweet. And so, yeah, so the information sheet kind of explains the services that we give to our community. I don't know if you guys have any questions.
We wrote up your resolution. You do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. That was my first.
Lovely question.
I know.
Did you do that?
If there's no questions, I'd like to request that the board accept the attached proclamation deeming August as Child Support Month in Lassen County.
I'll make a motion to adopt the proclamation.
Second. Oh, you got me.
Okay. Motion made by Supervisor Bridges. And
I think he
second
won.
by
I think you got me.
Supervisor Alba. Is there anybody from the public that would like to comment on this? No? All right. I'm going to, bring it back up here for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
All right,
Good
thank you.
job.
If I could have each one of these. Thank you. Yeah. And then give it back to me when you're done. I need all 5 of you.
Okay, we're going to move on to, F1. And that's, a committee, appointment.
Can you take these separately, Mr. Chairman? Too?
Yes,
You got me.
yes, so, hopefully everybody has looked at that and,
Yeah.
I believe, they're, in, Supervisor Ingram's district.
Yeah, I just have a question about the minute order of October 1996.
Fair board.
I have no idea.
So this is standard language. This has
Okay,
been on, it's just whatever, order of October 15th, 1996, establishing whatever it has to do with the Fair Advisory Board. I've never been questioned on that because like I said, it's standard language. I can provide a minute order or that minute order.
curious.
Yeah, it's pertaining to the Fair Advisory Board. But, yeah, this is the same language that's been used for the last 11 years. We
It's
sent-
probably setting the terms or something along those lines.
Establishing.
Okay, I was just curious
Yeah.
because
I can provide that to you at a later time or after board,
okay, I was
if you
just,
want to read it.
yeah, I inherited 2 Fair Board picks when
Right.
I
I
like
can
it's
send that to you.
first time I even noticed it.
No, it's fine. No, you should have noticed it before because it's been on here before. However, I'm more than happy to send you a copy of that.
Okay. So, Supervisor Ingram, do you, have any comment on?
Yeah,
any of these,
well,
or-
yeah, I do have a couple comments. I was caught flat-footed. I mean, I didn't ask to have this on the agenda, so I was really, I don't know why.
I'm sorry to interrupt. May I make a comment? Or I'll wait till you're done. I'll speak in comment. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I was caught flat-footed and I got locked out of my emails and didn't know anything about this. So I just went and picked up my packet Friday evening and I said, oh, wow, this is what's going on. I would like to say Morgan Whipple is in the audience and she is a very qualified Fair Board applicant. And so is Mr. Niddle, as a matter of fact. But I wasn't prepared to appoint at this time, but I didn't want to have this removed from the agenda, seeing as how any supervisor can pick up a Fair Board pick from any district. I didn't think that'd be fair to Ms. Whipple or anybody else. But I will say she's highly involved in the community with Whipple's Pumpkin Patch. She came and did planted pumpkins with the kids. I just was not prepared for class, to tell you the truth. So I didn't want to have it
And
removed.
have they reached out to you?
Absolutely. And so has several other people. You know, with losing Tim, in my opinion, Ocho Torino is one of the best Fair Board picks I think Lassen County's ever had in its history. It's a big deal. But yeah, I just was not prepared and I didn't want to. We're missing 5, I think, at this point, going on 6. So I didn't want it to have Mrs. Whipple lose an opportunity for somebody else to pick up a very good Fair Board advisory pick. I just was not prepared. So.
Okay. Is there any other discussion?
Are we going to think about both applicants in general, or are we?
We're going
We gotta
to,
get some.
just the general question, because it was in Supervisor Ingram's district, you know, if they had reached out to them, and then we will take, then on a vote, we'll take, each individual.
Okay.
And, so, and we can hear from them,
Well, if I could comment now.
yeah.
All right. In my discussions, I agree. From what I've been told, Mrs. Whipple is a very qualified person and be a great addition to the Fair Board. Mr. Kniddle may or may not be fully qualified, but in my similar discussions, I've been kind of told that, you know, there's been some controversy in the Fair Board lately. Some guys stepped down for different reasons. And that if Mr. Kniddle's appointed, might cause more dissension on the board. There's other people who are prepared to step down if he's on there. So I would probably be against putting him on there, but fully in agreement with Mrs. Whipple. That makes sense.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not prepared to appoint at this time, but there are several vacancies and I did not want to rob Mrs. Whipple of the opportunity to get put on, say, District 1, 2, 3, or 5. But I was not prepared to appoint at this time. So I do apologize. There are a lot of people interested and moving forward. I just think we need to consider them all. So I know we have 5 vacancies at this point, and I believe we're going on 6. So pretty soon we won't have a quorum. We're gonna have to do something soon, but I wasn't prepared today. So if we're gonna bring back my district, I'd like to ask to have it put on the agenda in the future.
Yeah, may I speak? Shall I approach the podium? Do you want me to approach the podium so I'm facing all of you?
Yeah, I would like to see your smiling face.
Be smiling. I promise.
It'll be the first time that you're not smiling. There it is, right there.
You're
Good
smiling.
morning, Deputy Clerk of the Board, Michelle Duraga. So how boards, committees, and commissions work, we receive notification for resignation. So when we receive that, we fly the vacancy. So we posted a vacancy in 3 areas. We have 50, it has to be posted for 15 days. Once that 15th day is up, so I believe for the Fair Advisory Board, it was August 13th, 2025. the board can appoint on that day and thereafter. So how it works is I don't bring the appointments to you guys. Hey, is it okay if I put this on? I put it on. So if you don't want to appoint when I agendize it, that's completely up to you. That's just how it works. That's how it's always worked. The only information that I'm provided an application. As of to date, I have only received 2 applications, one from Ms. Wemple and one from Mr. Knittel. That's all I have. So whatever I have comes to you guys. I agendize it. It goes to the agenda meeting chair and whoever department head, CAO review that, and it goes on. If you don't want to appoint, you don't have to. It can come back. If I have more applicants, if I don't have any more applicants for next week, I'm not going to put it back on. There's no point.
Right.
It'd be a waste of time to put it back on for the same people that I have on today. So that's how it works. That's how any of the board appointments that are appointed by the Board of Supervisors, that's the process of it. So as far as doing research or anything that I provide, the only thing I provide is the application, unless they provide a like a summary or additional qualifications. You get what I get, or you get what is filed in our office. So any research or background, that's up to you. And you're more than welcome to contact me, call me, email me, text me. You all do anyway. to see if we have applicants and which district it is. Right now, we know the districts, it's District 1, 2, and 5 that we have the vacancies in. So as of now, it's just the 2 applicants.
Mr. Chairman, ma'am?
Are you done?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Well, do you have a question for Michelle?
Well, no, I just wanted to
Okay,
thank her for the
then,
clarity because we're in chartered waters here. Normally, this has never happened before. And
This is not in the charter.
So I was gonna say this Fair Advisory Board appointments have been on, a lot of the board members, the Fair Advisory Board's pretty fortunate that there's not a lot of turnaround with the board members. However, this is not the first time or the second or even the third time that board appointment for the Fair Advisory Board has come to you. So this is nothing new. The wording, the verbiage on the agenda item is nothing new. This is standard. This is standard verbiage. This is standard procedure. This is not the first time that appointments have come, and not just for District 5. I'm talking districts 1 through 5. This is something that has been ongoing. Well, I've been clerking. Well, I've been with the county for 11 years. So this is nothing new. This isn't anything that just magically popped up, especially with the last 3 years that the 2 new supervisors and even Supervisor Scanlon, this has been on. This isn't anything new. So
Yeah, you're right. This is nothing new. Anytime there's a vacancy by any board.
Michelle,
yes,
I have to agree with you 100%. This has been on the agenda meeting. Thank you for your professionalism
you're welcome.
and thank you for your clarity on the issue. So
Okay. Like I said, if any of you gentlemen have any questions regarding any of the boards that you appoint to or need clarification, I'm more than happy to give you the old one too. So
you're pretty awesome. So
do you guys have any more questions?
Yeah, I was just gonna reiterate. I mean, this is not new in uncharted water. This has been going on for years and you have it all the time. Anytime there's a vacancy, that the resignation or a vacancy, the board or whatever, the person will let the clerk know, the clerk flies it, it comes on. Sometimes people call you and tell you they're putting in, sometimes they don't. I'm just surprised anybody was on the agenda. There it is. And you go with it. Sometimes you know about it, sometimes you don't. But I mean, they're here for now, and we all knew that there was vacancies on the fair board. We all knew that this was gonna be coming. And I don't know, so maybe to be caught off guard, might be surprised that you didn't talk to some of these people or you didn't know what they were putting in, but that's the beauty of it. We don't have to appoint anybody or we can appoint both of them. It doesn't matter. I'll agree with Mr. Scanlon on the candidates and how I'm gonna vote, because I would agree. But anyway, here we are. And so to help me on this, Michelle, with the Fair Advisory Works, I know each one of them is different.
Mhm.
But the Fair Advisory Board, do they have to, does the applicant have to be within the district where they live? Or,
No, they
It can
do
be-
not. It
okay.
used to be that way. However, the board adopted a resolution a year or so ago
All right.
because they were struggling. The Fair Advisory Board was struggling to have a quorum. So the rules were changed to where the applicant does not necessarily have to live within the district that they're serving. It's similar to the fishing game. In fact, I think the board copied the fishing games resolution as far as that goes. There are 10 board members, so there's 2 board members for each district. As of right now, the Fair Advisory Board does have a quorum. There's 6 board members. There's 5 resignations. I haven't seen any more come through. I've heard one more's coming through. So,
and the only other thing I'd like to add to that is that, September the 9th, I believe, is the next Fair Advisory Board.
yes,
And at that time, they was gonna have a resignation in this last meeting. And we talked, Jose Pena into staying for another meeting to make sure that we would have a quorum so that they could have the meeting on September 9th until then, so we could have a couple of weeks to get, possibly some more of the fair board appointments so they could have a quorum to continue on. And
so,
so,
yeah,
I mean, we at least need to make 1, if not 2 appointments today and, or today or next week. Otherwise, they're kind of stymied.
and,
Well,
and,
for the-
and like I said, if I receive any more applicants now, well, I'll put it on the agenda. However, and I can agendize it anyway. So the rule is if an applicant can come in up until, doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be prior to me publishing the agenda. I could have somebody walk in right now, this item's being discussed, and they could say, hello supervisors, I'd like to turn in my application. They can do it up until the day of the board meeting, until that item is called, and you could actually make the appointment at that time. So I mean, I could walk in here, I want to sit on the Fair Advisory Board. I'm a registered voter, I live in District 2. You could make that appointment. They have up until the item is called.
Right.
So,
Yes.
Cool.
Mr. Ingram.
Just a little history lesson. When the census was redrawn in 2020, I think I ended up with a fair board member or somebody, no, me and you. Our lines got all crossed, 3 and 5. So I think I had Claudio, then he had to go to you, and I inherited 2 good, just for not, I want a little clarity on the uncharted waters. I inherited 2 great fair board members. So this is all brand new to me. And I was locked out of my email because I turned in my Surface Pro. So I didn't get any emails from Wednesday. And then Friday night, I drove up to the office and grabbed my packet and said, oh, wow, look at this. I didn't even know this was going on. So anyways, for clarity, I inherited 2 good fair board members. And we do have a very good fair board applicant in the audience right now. I'm just not prepared to appoint today. I just want to make that clear. And when the lines got crossed, I think you ended up with Claudia, I believe, in District 3. And somehow I had 3. I don't know how it went. All I know is I had Cheryl, Tim, and Claudia, and then somehow you got Claudio's. That's what happened when we were able, because Claudio was still in District 5, but you were able to take him on, and then that's when the lines were open to take applicants from different districts.
so, before I go back to my chair, and I just want to reiterate, as you all know, where the district has the vacancy and the appointment doesn't have to come from that supervisor. It can come from any of the supervisors. It's just in the past been a gentleman's courtesy. But I'm just saying the appointment can come from anyone. If you have any more questions, any more clarification?
I just had some comment.
Okay, seeing
but
none,
not-
I'm gonna go back to my chair.
Okay.
Okay.
And you
you.
took over your 3 minutes.
Hey, I didn't hear the timer.
Staff presentation.
Yes.
Okay,
Can I make a quick comment?
public comment.
Bill Pyre, Fair Manager. I just want to thank you all for your consideration, and if you could keep it on the agenda for the next few weeks, I would appreciate that. I have personally spoke to a number of people that are interested, but haven't got applications in yet. So don't feel like we only have 2 applicants that are coming. There will be some more to consider. So just keep that in mind, and if they stay on the agenda, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, the only comment that I have is when the applicants are applying and it's been made clear by several of the board members that they would like the applicants to reach out to them and just, so that they can get to know them and make sure that it's a appointment that you're going to feel comfortable with. And so, and I would encourage the board to, have the respect for it, if they're applicants in their district that, that we would give the supervisor in that district the ability to appoint those. Just and I think it's a respect thing that, and if that supervisor doesn't like or chooses someone else, and there's somebody out there that another district supervisor would like to pick up, then I think it can be done, because we did do it in the past, and so I just want to I don't know if when they come in and pick up an application, if it's okay if Michelle just says, hey, can you reach out to the supervisors and let them know that you're interested, and at least know who they are and why they want to. I mean, we do have Mrs. Wimple in the audience, and we can hear from her, but those are my comments.
I agree with you, Tom. I'd be more than happy to make a motion to have Morgan sit on District 5, but I'm not gonna do that because that's, as you say, that's disrespectful to Mr. Ingram. So I'm not gonna do that, and I know that Morgan did come in here today, and I would like to hear from her a little bit if she doesn't mind, just to stay her case, and then she doesn't have to come in next week if she doesn't want to or something. But but maybe if Mr. Ingram isn't ready for this, I mean, we can table it till next meeting. But then I think we need to do something. But it's my 2 cents.
I would like to hear from this young lady also. I know that she, in a family that's been very mindful of our county fair and been very dedicated to many, many years of volunteer work and dependability. So I would like to hear from her.
Okay, come on up, Morgan.
My name's Morgan Wemple. I used to be Morgan Hester. My family has been here. I was born and raised. So don't give all me the credit of the Wemples. I'm married to Matt. That's great, but I've only been married to him for 3 years. So I'm still trying to earn my way into that spot. But thank you. I would really appreciate, I definitely respect your choice not to appoint. I definitely do, but I have a lot of drive in me, and I really I'm the vice president of the Chamber of Commerce right now. So being in the community is very important to me. And I grew up doing 4-H and FFA. I know how vital the Lassen County Fair is to both of those groups and our community in general. And I don't know, I have a lot of energy and new ideas, and I would be really honored if somebody from another district would mind picking me up. Otherwise, I'll keep coming until you guys appoint your full board. Any questions?
No, you answered mine. Thank you.
Mr. Alba?
So do you have a good relationship with your mother-in-law?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we live
She
on the
served
ranch.
that board.
For a long, long
so
time.
many years.
Oh, I got some weary, are you sure you want to do this? But I think I want to give it a go.
Because you got a lot of good background support there with, it'd be awesome.
Yes, yep, I always am turning to her for something. Thank you, guys.
Okay, what, you're not gonna get away without me. So, I mean, I've known Morgan since she was this big. And, and she grew up with my kids and was involved a lot with the 4-H program and I know how passionate you've been since you were little, and the fair and what it's meant to you and I know that you would have a lot of good assets for that board and, you've grown into a great young lady.
Thank you.
Proud.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
So, right now, I need, a motion to either appoint, well, I'll bring up, each of them and, or we can, table it until next meeting. So whatever that motion may.
I would just like to make the motion to table it. Do the homework.
Okay.
That's specific.
Motion made by Supervisor Ingram to table the appointments,
Can we make that till next meeting?
if that's in his motion.
That's what I'm asking.
Is that your motion, Mr.
Well, I
Ingram?
didn't know if it was
So,
necessary or.
Till next
Make it a
meeting?
little easier for the applicants and the clerk.
I just like to table for now.
Indefinitely?
No, not indefinitely, just for now. I don't
Well,
like
what
to
is
be
for
forced into anything.
now?
What's for now?
Until I can do a little homework. I want to talk to Morgan a little more too.
So are you asking for it to be on the 14th, or excuse me, for the 9th?
Sure.
So if I have additional applicants outside of District 5, can I agendize this? Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna motion to table only for District 5 appointments.
Well, there was a motion.
There
District,
was a motion made to
Right, that's
table
what you did.
the appointment.
yeah,
Yeah,
Correct?
for a district.
appointments only.
District 5 only, is that your motion?
Yes. Just because I don't want to hold anything up.
Is that until next meeting?
Till September.
September 9th.
September 9th.
So for clarification, you're just saying that you want to table appointments for District 5 until September 9th. And if I have another motion on the floor that says that another district supervisor wants to appoint one of these applicants today,
Oh, have at it.
Then
That's why I
we'll-
left it on the agenda.
okay,
By all means.
so, all right, so,
Agendas.
if,
Because the two applicants are only for District 5, but
So-
they could be appointed.
Before we move on, was there a second to that motion?
not yet, because I haven't asked for it.
Well,
because I'm
but
just
before
trying to
you
get
can make a
comfortable.
second motion, there would need to be a second to that.
Okay,
Trying to get clarification of the motion.
so I think we have clarification,
Okay.
so I need a second for Supervisor Ingram's.
I'll second that.
Okay. So, anybody from the public want to comment on it? Is all those in favor?
If you're, okay, were you talking about making a second motion?
If someone wanted to make a second motion, I can.
Mr. Ingram
Right, we'll see.
But is there another motion to appoint?
I'm just for a point of order, for clarification.
Okay,
The only thing that's agendized is District 5. So you can't, there's nothing agendized to appoint anyone to the Fair Advisory Board in any other district vacancy today.
okay,
So that's what I'm trying to clarify
okay,
before you go down the road of the vote, just to make sure. Okay.
all right,
Oh, that was.
all right.
So what under discussion now? What was-
I have a question. Why are we waiting 2 weeks when we can take care of it next week? Because,
That was his motion.
okay, Supervisor Alba mentioned that that we're gonna be short of a quorum. We need to get to, isn't a week enough for you to do a little research?
Well, no, my question is, why don't we have all districts on the agenda? So that way, if somebody is available for another,
Nobody's applied.
she has applied. If any other district can pick one up, then why wouldn't we have all districts on the agenda? Wouldn't that make more sense?
No, not really.
Okay,
Okay.
When they
is there any other discussion? Okay. Michelle, you have, Jason made the motion
Mhm.
The table.
to table it till September 9th.
For District 5 only.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Supervisor Scanlon
Second,
seconded it,
I got it.
and all those in favor,
Aye.
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 Okay. We have Supervisor Bridges voted no.
Thank you.
Okay. So we will table that till 9.
Can I ask for a clarification, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
A clarification.
Okay.
And
And then.
Michelle kind of addressed this, so I just want to make sure I got it right. He still has 2 applications in pending.
Yes.
And since any other supervisor can pick up either one of those if they wanted to, would remain on, just automatically back on the agenda, or is it not gonna be agendized? Like, the next meeting?
Yeah, I'd like to have all the districts on the agenda, so it creates an opportunity. That's why it makes sense.
Well,
I don't know why
She
it
puts
doesn't.
it on the agenda when she gets the applications,
Do you have any?
Right.
just like she did this one.
Okay, just the way.
Yeah, but we can't do anything because it only says District 5.
Well,
Yeah.
Why not have all the districts on the agenda? Doesn't that make sense?
Well, they can still be there.
I don't mean to be sneaky about it, but I need 2 people that I need to take it up, but you come pretty highly recommended, so I would naturally.
It can come back on the next agenda, just as Fair Advisory Board appointments. Right now, it's agendized just for District 5. He's made the motion, but it can be agendized differently, so that can be. You can- Because any one of you are free to appoint anyone.
Absolutely.
So,
That would accomplish the goal of potentially of helping the Fair Board have a
Yes.
form they need,
Right.
when they need it. Thank you.
And I was under the impression we could do that today. I called the CAO and everybody else, and that's what I was told. But now I'm told something different in open session.
Well, it says District 5.
I didn't
It has
get a,
nothing to do with reading the agenda. I called the CAO and that's what I was told.
I didn't get a call.
Well, you're not my
clarification.
CAO.
No, but the-
Right, but I understand the
agenda,
board.
It's pretty simple, because you can't do anything that's not agendized.
Okay. We're gonna move on. Okay, thank you, everybody. Okay, so we accomplished F and we, accomplished G. So we are going to move on to H. 1 and so the Tyler Financial System, but so
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Regina is at a training, so she's unavailable today to give you the report, but she did meet with the trainer for the personnel component last Wednesday. And I had talked to Regina about it, and she conveyed to me that it was the most positive interaction that she's had with any trainers at any point with regard to the Tyler system. So Belinda and Regina, I think Michelle, were you there?
No.
I'm sorry, there was a third person at the training, but yeah, they really found the training to be very instructive, and they got a lot worked out just in the one training period that they had. And they have another slated for the 25th. And I asked her to book another training after that. The training is hard to book, of course. But she was unsure whether they would even need a third training. But again, she reported a very, very good exchange with this trainer, and they really worked out a lot of stuff, according to Regina. So that's my report. And it's third person, I apologize, but Regina's at a 3-day Trendell training, so.
Okay. Or any,
No, I like the sound of that. To be honest,
It's different from the other stories.
yes. Thank you.
so she will give us a report next week.
We can agendize this again if you'd like to hear it from her, certainly.
Because I want to know how we're going to move forward and what their goals are. You know, this has taken way too long, and how we're going to accomplish those goals to get this system up and running.
I can certainly have her here next Tuesday.
Did you hear, get a synopsis of how the meeting went with Tyler?
Say that again?
Did you get a synopsis of how their meeting went with Tyler for their?
Yeah, she, I mean, as I said, she was incredibly positive about the exchange and the information exchange and the things that she wasn't understanding, where a lot of them were made clear. There's still more to do, but she said it was like the most constructive meeting she's ever had. Yeah.
Tyler.
But just a quick question. So she has another meeting with Tyler on the 25th, and
Yes.
then we're meeting on the 26th. So we even get even a better report from Regina next Tuesday.
Right.
Okay, I just want
Yeah,
to make sure.
I'd be happy to keep it on and have her report.
All right. Is there anybody from the public that would like to comment on it?
Do we need to make a motion to table this or just, I guess per direction staff, just to keep it on the agenda?
And we'll hear from her on the on the 26th.
Cool.
Yes. Okay,
Make it 5.
we're gonna take a break.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
That's okay.
Discussion.
Okay, we're live.
All right. We're going to move to H2.
Chairman, I'm Tiffany from Armstrong from Behavioral Health. And I have a bunch to present today. So, start the very first one. It makes it easier because we're going to be presenting two contracts. I'm going to go by their numbers because they're almost identical, but they're just contracts with Department of Healthcare Services. So we're going to discuss the agreement 25-50-135. And this is our contract with the Department of Healthcare Services to provide specialty mental health services. Basically, what this states is that it has in regulations everything that we have to provide, from program integrity to compliance to quality assurance. So anything and everything that we do in our department, there's an agreement that we will abide to it, and we will follow all regulations from the state to the federal government. So basically, every few years, we have to come to the board to get the contract approved and to move forward so that we can continue to provide all of the great services that we do at Behavioral Health. So I printed out the one, it's about 300 pages. I didn't print out the other agreement because it's another 300 pages, but if there's any questions from.
Yes.
Actually, it's 237 pages.
Oh, sorry, 237.
And the next one you're going to present is 257 pages.
Yeah.
And when I got this on Friday, along with the other 150 pages generated from your office, essentially, added up to about 707 pages to review and theoretically to approve. And I, for one, am not comfortable giving my approval to a document that I haven't been able to read. And have you read every page of that?
Oh, yes, I've actually read a number of times for the last couple of years. Since I've been in this position, we have to follow every regulation, and then I have to write policies that go along with it.
All right.
So I'm pretty up to speed on most of it, unless there's new stuff that they've added to it that I'm not aware
I'm glad for that. That's a positive on your side. I just don't, when I got it on Friday afternoon, evening, and other events taking place and other responsibilities, I need more time. Honestly, I don't feel right in approving a contract that I haven't read.
of.
And you know, obviously I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it, but I also noticed that, I don't think county councils had a chance to look at it or not. I didn't see the approval as to form on that.
Most of the language has been around for the last 10 plus years, so it's continuation of the same contract that keeps getting approved every few years. So unless there's new stuff like mobile crisis and care court and stuff like that, it probably would be implemented. But again, they go and they add little nuances like traditional healers is number one. So they'll probably implement that in here in the plan. But most of the regulations, I've been actually seeing this for a number of years. There's not a whole lot that's changed since I've been in this position.
I understand that. Amanda, can I ask you a question? When you approve a contract as to form, I know you're just looking for probably the legality of it or whatever. But as you go through that and you see things that might be a concern to the county in general, do you raise those issues or do you just do approve it to according to form?
I generally look at it for legal concerns, but there are times when I have raised questions about, for instance, whether or not we have the staffing for the ability to actually abide by the grant terms. And I might just throw it out there as a heads up to the department head, and they'll usually get back saying, yeah, we have this, this, and this, it's fine. It's not really my place to make those discussions, but given all the CAO turnover that we've had, I have been asking those questions. I don't ask, for instance, funding questions because I don't have access to that information. So if there's something that's really leaping out at me as something that could create, obviously if it creates a risk, that I can issue.
Okay,
So,
I kind of assumed you would do something.
Yeah.
Like that. I know I'm the newest member on the board and you guys have probably read these things and haven't committed to memory.
Yeah, every word.
But I personally just don't feel, I mean, I either have to vote no or abstain without having had a chance to read it. And honestly, 2 days I'm a slow reader and my lips move when I do read. So I need more time. To look at it. It's probably standard operating procedure for you guys, but for me, in good conscience, I'd like to be able to actually read the document. When I see it again next year, or the year after that, I'm like, oh, I've seen this before, I could do that. But right now, that's my position.
You have some time constraints.
Yeah, unfortunately, they called me this morning asking if it was gonna be on for today's agenda. I said yes. So the state is wondering to know, because obviously we won't be able to provide services until it's actually approved. So we would have to stop services.
Can I ask you,
Yeah, go ahead.
is everybody else read it?
I respect your decision to want to read the documents. I mean, if anybody on this board wants to do something, you gotta respect it. That's the way you feel. Tiffany, my question is, why have 700 plus page documents brought to us and say, well, we got to do it right now, or we can't do services? This couldn't have been brought at an earlier time.
Yeah, it got put together in the last week or two, so we put it together, we put it over the agenda. It's pretty standard language that we've had previously in other years, in terms of the language itself. So I didn't know if it was gonna be, like, we needed to kind of table it or review through it, but typically this is the normal contract that we always have with GHCS.
When was the last time this had to be approved?
They're usually 3-year contracts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't remember this many pages at one time.
Yeah, it's usually about every 3 years.
And Amanda, how long were you able to review these
Well,
documents?
this version I don't think has come to me unless it came to Scott. my
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I don't know about how long Scott, because I wasn't here. Vacation, so my colleague Scott was taking over review of contracts. So I had how long to do it, but he's seen these many times before in his career, just because he also worked in health and human services for Nevada County for many years and for other clients too. So these contracts they don't vary really among the counties. So
I know it's a time consuming process, but I mean, like, you read these things all the time, probably ad nauseum. How many hours does it take you to get through something like this?
well, if I've seen the same contract over and over and over again, I'm looking for particular provisions that might be different in certain places. So I'm not necessarily reading every single word of it, where I've seen it over and over and over again. So, yeah.
Okay, well, I'd like to either table it for a couple of weeks so I can have a chance to read it, or I'll at the same book.
Couple of questions. This is a $0 agreement. Both of these, the next two, but yet we have to have 700 pages. I mean, it's insanity on the state's part. My next question is for you is, how much work do you do with Russia?
With Russia?
Yeah.
None. Like
No,
in terms of services
Yeah.
to Russia? We don't provide.
Talking about
any
the Ukrainian provision,
It's freaking stupid.
it's in almost every state contract.
And it's stupid. I mean, why do you have to have that? Just to kill more trees, just somebody to get his name out there a little more often than he's doing something right or good? I mean,
So just as a,
which adds to their 700 pages, which takes us a day longer to read, because I'm like you, I'm not a very fast reader either. But anyway, I mean, it's, because of an executive order for Russian sanctions, because of Gavin Newsom. I mean, it's stupid. Stupid.
That's a great example of why we need to read these things and see what's in them. I mean,
It's
they
stupid.
said we're gonna send Russia.
So I mean, why do we have to have 700 pages every 3 years, right? I mean, just their state law, and they've got so much on this stuff anyway. I mean, what services are you going to stop providing if we table this for a week or two until?
Well, it's really about writing our policies and making sure that the clients are getting the services that we've implemented in this contract itself. Because we have everything in here that we have to go in and actually write policy for within the department. So here's the state, here's the Fed, they have their regulations, and then we have to create policy on how we're going to implement it within the actual department. So that's what my team and I do every Monday as we meet. We discuss this, we go over the regulations, and we just say, okay, how are we going to meet this particular standard in this contract? How do we make sure that the clients are getting these services in a timely manner, in a manner that is appropriate for them? So there's like obligations in here that we will make sure that every client that comes through our door will get an assessment within 15 days. Those are the kind of things that we have to implement. So a lot of this stuff we've already implemented over the last 5-10 years. We just continue to do it. It's just a standard process for us is that we continue to say, yes, we're going to continue to abide to the state and to the feds when it comes to providing services to our clients.
They're not subject to negotiations.
Yeah.
There's no going back to the state saying, I want the Ukrainian provision out of it.
I know,
They're not going to do that.
the whole thing is just insanity. I mean, here you guys gotta spend at least a half a day a week going through, making sure you're abiding by all this other stuff instead of going out and doing your job.
Absolutely, 1000%. I mean, there's actually one part in here that if you get to it, it actually says what font size I have to use when I put any posters out into the public. I mean, really, I'm sitting here every night working with people who are trying to kill themselves, and I'm worrying about what font size we have to actually implement within the department so that people can actually read our flyers that are at 18, 20 font size.
And no one there to enforce it.
Exactly. So there's just a lot of nuances that the state requires, unfortunately, that we have to abide to. And that's how our funding is, how it's set up is that if we don't abide to this or we don't follow their standards, they don't have to pay us at all.
And it's more important to them that they follow their rules that they made up, because they got a little bit of power than actually going out and helping somebody.
Correct.
I mean, it's just, it's an insanity trap. And we just keep getting sucked down it farther and farther each and every single time.
You need to come to our Monday meetings.
No, I
Well,
really,
we talked about this every Monday. It's kind of, we just talked about this yesterday. There's just a lot of nuances that I don't understand, that I don't think they realize what small counties do. This same contract is the exact same contract that Los Angeles is going to have to abide to. But Los Angeles has thousands of people. I have a staff of less than 25 that have to meet these standards, implement these standards, and make sure that we're following and abiding to it so that when we get audited, which we will, they will pull out the 300 pages and they'll go through and say, okay, on page such and such, can you show me all of your posters with the 18-point font? And if I miss one, then I'm putting a corrective action plan. And then I have to fix it until it's complete.
what's that?
Are you done?
I really wanted to vote no on this, but now Mike's gonna make me vote yes on it. I don't like that.
Okay,
Out of all 5 supervisors, I understand what you're up against because it's just where I'm at with all this.
Mm-hmm.
If you do stop services, then you're up for penalties.
Correct. I'll
So
have to be
we're
putting a
between a
corrective
rock and a hard spot, and somebody's got a lot bigger hammer than we have, so.
And if you look at one of the sections in here, it talks extensively about sanctions. So I will get fined, not just put in a corrective action plan.
Right.
I will have to pay the DHCS back with money I don't really have to pay them because I didn't miss something or I didn't do page, 196, whatever element that they want me to do. So each week we go through this and we actually implement that. That's why we have a QA/QI department, why we have compliance. And mind you, those are the same people who do the same stuff each and every, no matter what hat we put on. We're having to implement all of this.
I got stuck on that regarding economic sanctions against Russia and Russian entities and individuals.
Well, he got stuck on it because this, instead of saying the state of California, should say the Gestapo. So.
okay, Supervisor Scanlon.
Well, if we don't approve this contract today, you're still gonna provide the services. I mean, you're still, that's your routine.
Yeah, the state just doesn't have to pay us.
Right. And, but between now and next week or the week after that, I don't think they're gonna make that decision.
It's up.
What do I know? But, my point is more to like, just consideration for, the weakest link in the chain, that when you send me 700 pages of stuff, there's no way I'm gonna, honestly be able to get through that
Mhm.
practically. And if there was a mechanism where like, if this is coming, if you give me this contract 2 weeks ago, I would have done my due diligence and actually read through it and caught the Russian sanctions and all that kind of stuff. I want to be conscientious,
Mhm.
but I need the opportunity and the ability to do that, and getting it just over the weekend and having Monday basically to deal with this is hard.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
hope you understand what.
No, I
I'm
totally
coming from.
understand. We'll try to figure out a way, maybe we can,
Yeah, and I think probably the thought process is, and this is you are new to this particular contract, you'll see them in other forms and other departments coming along. But like I said, this is kind of one of those things where it's a mandated service that she has to provide. Whether we get paid for it or not is what is dependent upon this contract, and there's really nothing to negotiate. So there's not a lot of wiggle room with these, I guess, is my point. It's kind of something we have to do regardless
So
of,
it's automatic, yes, kind of like no matter what.
yeah.
I had spoken to Supervisor Scanlon about this. He told me yesterday he had some concerns, and I think that we could sit down with you, and there's a lot of stuff like council said that they're just in there all the time, and maybe familiarize yourself with those sections so that you know what sections you do need to pay attention to. That would make the process a lot faster. And I have been told, I don't know if it's true, but in the past, they didn't even include the contract in the board item because they basically did a summary because it was just too much. And so in the past, I guess the board relied on staff to tell them that it looked good and et cetera. And so you weren't even required to go through the contract. But at any rate, that's because we didn't have the way to post it like we do now, so that we didn't print 5 reams of paper and all that kind of thing. So, but I totally appreciate your perspective. Like you're asked to sign something, you don't really have time to look at it, and I'm very sensitive to that predicament. So, we'll work on that.
Well, I appreciate that, Tiffany, that you actually read through it.
Yeah.
You know, if you said, no, I haven't read it.
No. My
This
team would
discussion
tell
will be
me,
over.
no. No, what we do is, just so you guys know, is every Monday we have our QAQI meetings at 10 o'clock. And that's where we go through each of these sections, and they break it out into like program integrity, QAQI, compliance. And so my team has developed a way that we can go in and create policies. So we have about, I say, over 150 policies that we've developed from just this contract itself. So we know how to implement all of what they've said on the state and federal regulations to our staff. So it's a lot of work. I have to say that my team puts in a lot of hours going through this and, pulling out all the information that they need. And then we have to submit all of that information to the state, and then they have to review it, and then they let us know if it's appropriate or not. So there's multiple chains that we do. It's not just sitting here and saying, okay, I read it every 3 years and then we're done with it. Each week we're having to go through this and actually verify and vet it out and making sure that we're following all the standards that the state and federal regulations.
Mr. Chairman?
Who gives you guys rental services?
I was just asking that question like last week.
Sorry.
Well, I just had a question. So this is done every 3 years. So how long have you known that this needed to come to the board and present it to us?
It came to us in about, within a month, last month, I think it was. It has to go through a number of chains of people, obviously county council, that's it. We have to make sure that we're getting these from the actual state, that if we're correct, that this is the actual final copy. What we don't want to do is go to you and say, this is a copy, and then they come back and say, oh, so sorry, we had a typo or there's something changed. So we want to make sure. So as of this morning, when I talked to DHCS, that it definitely is on the board for this morning. They said, great, we're all clear that this pile of paper is what we're vetting for today in terms of approval.
Right, because I tend to lean with Supervisor Scanlon, we got to get this done today or we're in trouble. It's just like going over our budget last year. Here's 500 pages, whatever it was. And then we got to vote on it on Tuesday. We're out of compliance with the state with only one public hearing. That last minute stuff just drives me insane. Yeah, I tend to, I didn't even, it's like, whoa, what is all this?
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. But no, we get it when the state sends it to us. So once we receive it, then it obviously goes to the number of people within the internal to review it and making sure that it's all appropriate before we send it to the actual board.
Is there any more discussion?
Just a quick comment if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to this moving forward, based on the need. But for integrity's sake, I'm gonna abstain on my vote, just for, for that reason, because I haven't read it.
Okay. So Tiffany, on this here, one of my questions is for the payment of American Indian and Alaskan natives. is this contract, just based for those two nationalities or?
It's an
or
addition that was
That-
added into the contract
that was added into the contract when,
this year. It was never a previous. So in the last 3-4 months now, we've been told that they were gonna add this language into the contract, that we would have to be paying for Native Americans and, any type of, when it comes to
Alaskan.
Alaska, thank you. When it comes to mental health services, specialty mental health services.
Who paid for it before?
We did not pay for it at all.
Who did?
I don't know, but now it's actually implemented in writing in our contract that we will be paying for those services for them.
Or they just made them go without?
Most of our folks usually receive services elsewhere, maybe at Lassen Indian Health or some of our other telehealth private providers in our community. But this one, it actually spells it out very clearly that we are going to be paying for any of their specialty mental health. And if you'll see in the drug medical side, it's also too, that we will be responsible for paying for their mental health services if they come through us.
So previously, if you had a Eskimo or a Native American, you just turn them away?
No, we wouldn't. No, it would be through behavioral, it would be through their Medi-Cal. But again, this one is clearly stating and articulating that we will be providing those services to that population.
So do they have Filipino identified? Do they have Hispanic identified? Do they have Ukrainian identified? Do they have American identified? I mean, this is so stupid.
I know, but this is again, what we're doing with, when we deal with the state, this is the kind of stuff that we have to implement. They don't make any kind of like explanation for why. They just say, this is what we have and this is what you're gonna do. It's just like the font size. I ask, why do I have to put an 18-point font? Why can't I have it in 14 or 22? They said, this is the regulations. This is what you're gonna do. So unfortunately, I wish I could negotiate, but I can't. I can't negotiate with DHCS about any of the line items that they present in the actual contract.
They have bald-headed people in there? I might need it.
I did see
You're
that.
halfway in.
I'll keep looking, but I don't see that one in there.
so when do you guys start your policy on this contract? What
We've always been doing
review?
policy. So we've been doing this for a number of years. So this isn't anything new. What we do is we'll go through it and verify any new things that came down with the state, any new line items that come down, then we'll go ahead and implement policy or maybe process, or making sure that we train staff about anything that's new, like, oh, this is what we're going to do, or this is how we're going to do things. So we take this information and we just basically go through it line by line to verify and make sure that we're actually doing what we're supposed to be doing through what DHCS requires of us. And then each month I meet with DHCS by the phone, and then we go through it together just to make sure that anything that they have said that, I can't say that I forgot about it, or I didn't look at it, or overlooked something. They'll make sure that I'm on track and I'm doing everything that they require. But it is
Do
a
they
lot of work.
highlight that, highlight it or underscore it, or any changes in their contract when they send that to you?
Yeah, what they typically do is they'll come in and they'll do an audit. So I get audited almost probably every other month on something. So when they go in, they'll ask for all the information. We send it to them electronically. They'll review that information and then they'll make a decision if it's appropriate or not. If they don't find it appropriate, then they'll send it back and they'll put us in a corrective action plan. We have up to 30 to 60 days to modify it, correct it, do something with it. If they find that it's not appropriate, then they'll send it back again, saying make some more changes to it. If I don't do any of that, if I completely like ghost them, then that's when they start talking about sanctions. They will say, okay, then you're going to owe us money. But we don't want that. We actually try to do our due diligence and we make sure that we get everything to them in appropriate manner and making sure that we're doing everything correctly. So I was just on doing that this morning. First thing this morning, I was asking, because I have to send out information to our consumers about letting them know about traditional healers. That's the other part of this contract. So I have to send out a notification to all of our consumers about, so there's so many little nuances that we do every day that LA has it down, but poor little Lassen, we do everything that LA does, but with not even close to the amount of staff that they have.
All right, my other question is, adequate, staffing, levels, what's their requirement and what kind of, adequate staffing do we have?
We're short-staffed. We definitely have to contract out most of our positions, unfortunately, through locums. So when you're looking at for a psychiatrist or a therapist, for a lot of that, I've been to you guys a number of times explaining why I have to have these contracts with all of these entities is because in order to meet these mandates, I have to have the enough staffing. If we can't hire locally, then I have to go to locums, which is a business that basically provides staffing for those kind of positions. And I've been doing that for a number of years now, which is not the best way. Obviously, I would like to be able to hire within Lassen County, but it's very difficult to hire the level of expertise and the licensing and the level of education that you need to be in these positions. So for instance, I just can't find a psychiatrist who wants to come on and work for us. So I use locums to provide for that service. So again, staffing is a very challenge for us here when we're looking at trying to implement programs within our agency.
So what kind of staffing do we have to honor this contract?
So-
How many? 10, 20, 30,
No.
40?
We usually have locums that we provide for the type of services. So we have a psychiatrist that we have currently. We also have our therapist that we also contract, and we also have it with county employees. We have caseworkers that we use too. So it just fills the need when we need it. Obviously, we're still down a fiscal officer. We still don't have a clinical supervisor. Those are kind of positions that are very difficult to have locums, unfortunately, provide for us because there's such a specialty to it. You have to know the nuances of everything about the contracts itself. And sometimes it's just difficult to find those kind of people through locums.
So what happens if the state says you don't have enough adequate staffing? Then what happens?
Well, that's my main issue with been right now with mobile crisis. We just don't have enough staffing for it. So we've been going back and forth trying to figure out other alternatives on what we can do. Hopefully, we're still working with another department to see if we can, fill those positions. But again, it's going back and forth with Department of Healthcare Services to say, hey, we're a very small county. In order for us to implement some of these programs, we need staffing. And some of our staff have wear multiple hats, but they can't be in two positions at the same time. So again, we usually use a lot of our locums to provide most of the staffing requirements that we're obligated to provide. And that's what we've been using for a number of years now.
All right, and then, there's, every 3 years, do they audit us or they audit this contract?
They audit us as a department. So they audit us pretty much on a regular basis. It's not every 3 years. They're usually on more of a every 2 to 3 month cycle with us on what they were going to audit. So sometimes it might be something on our quality improvement section. So they'll come in and say, hey, we're going to do a desk audit on that. Or they might want to do something about our compliance for a desk audit for that. So we're constantly being audited by Department of Healthcare Services. It's just not a one-time thing and they're done.
Well, in the contract, it said that every 3 years it would be audited. So what,
That's probably for the actual contract in general, but for us, we're consistently being mini audited by the state.
so when was the last audit on this contract?
That I have not, because we've been doing mini audits for so long. I think they've probably realized that because you're in good standing, you've been doing all these things, you're making all the necessary changes. I don't think they would have a reason to do a full 3-year audit for us because we've been doing all these mini ones along the way.
So they're just giving us a good guy credit.
I mean, we're doing pretty good. I have to give kudos to my team. They do work really hard to make sure that they're consistently making sure we don't go into serious sanctions or serious concerns with the Department of Healthcare Services. We don't want to go in that direction. We really want to make sure we're doing everything appropriately, serving the clients that we need to serve, and doing it with, due diligence. So a lot of times, most of the time, we just spend hours just writing policies, sending it off to the state and having them critique it, and then they get back with us on it.
I know, but if we don't have any formal audit thing, I don't want it to be like what we just been through with, one of the things that the state, after 10 years, they went back and audited it and we don't have a current 3-year contract or a 6-year contract and then we get caught with our pants down.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we've been really diligently working on going forward for the last number of years, is making sure that never happens. Because we have everything now in writing, we have everything now in the cloud, so that there should be no excuses about why anything we didn't find something, or we lost something, or we can't access to whatever it might be. We have it all there for the state at all times. And if you remember, the state didn't audit us for a number of years back in those times. They weren't doing their part, and they took ownership in that. And they said, hey, we really haven't been monitoring you for how many years, but now we're going to do it now going forward, which I think is hysterical. But that's on DHCS. That's not on us.
Any other questions?
I just have a comment.
Yes.
I just want to thank you because I know how you stress on these little, I call them mini audits. They all add up to the big audit that they're talking about. So you're prepared at all times. And your department, I give them an A+ on that effort.
Yeah.
Because they're very good at it.
Very good.
And I just want to thank you as their leadership, so.
Yeah. No, I have to give kudos. The department really puts a lot of time and energy into this, and they take, I mean, a lot of them are not, statisticians. They're not these specialized people, but they take it upon themselves to learn it, to understand it so that they can get it done right. And so huge kudos to my staff for taking the time to get.
That is the shortcut to what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you didn't do that, then it would all come down in a big, and then we would have a mess.
Correct.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
This whole thing is just analysis paralysis. We spend so much time analyzing things, you think they are a darn thing.
Right.
And it's terrible. And I would love to sit on one of your phone calls and help you articulate our position. Probably wouldn't want me to make it worse for you. But anyway, I mean, I don't think this is gonna hurt anything if we put it off till next week.
It's up to you. I don't think so. If you guys want to.
I don't think so, because I think I know it's a long, dry read. And it's painful at best. And I know I've forgotten a lot of the stuff because it's been 3 years. I forget something that happened yesterday because I slept since then. So with 3 years, I mean, I basically got to start over, but I think for some of the comments you've had here at the board, though, I think I would maybe table this until next week to get a better understanding, because this whole department is, it's very foreign to me, and I'm sure it is to a lot of the people too.
I'll second that because I can see the need.
Had a motion to table.
That was it.
Till next week.
Yeah, till next week.
Second.
And I second it. I second the motion.
Most,
I haven't recognized it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
most of it was time specific.
So, oh,
Next week.
okay. Got a motion on the floor by Supervisor Alba, second by Supervisor Bridges to table it until next week. Anybody from the public? All those in favor? Okay. Okay, H2. Okay, we're going to move on to H3.
So this is the other agreement with 25-50-100. And this is again, a contract with DHCS and with us, and including Department of Healthcare Services and our drug medical organized delivery system. So our alcohol and drug program that we provide also. So again, it's the same thing that we just discussed for the specialty mental health side. This is again for the drug medicals.
Same argument.
Same argument, correct?
On my side.
So before we have a lot of discussion, or you guys wanna, and for Tiffany's sake, do we need her to wait until next week on this too?
I think so. I think so. Make a
Okay.
motion to table H3 until next week.
All right.
I'm certain.
Supervisor Ingram,
No, don't make it time
Table.
certain. Don't make it time certain.
Or excuse me, time specific for next week.
Don't even make it time certain. Put on the agenda for next week.
okay, and
That's right.
Supervisor Bridges second it. Anybody from the public? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're going to move on to number 4. For Tiffany's, how about this one?
What is it? What IDE?
So idea is, so basically with this big contract that we have to have consultants who come in and do a lot of our testing of our system to make sure that we're actually doing what we say we're doing. So Idea Consulting actually does test calls for us each month. They do about 10 calls. They do it after hours and during business hours to make sure that we're answering the calls in a timely manner, that we should go over X amount of calls, that we should be able to answer the call with the only appropriate DHCS information. So they'll do a test call to see how we do they'll say, how do you handle a grievance? And so our staff have to make sure that they know exactly how to follow that regulation, how to follow give out the appropriate information, how to log those calls, how to make sure that we are reporting them correctly to the state on a quarterly basis. So we actually have printouts that we use with Idea Consulting that they give us feedback. They'll tell us like, the person on the phone was very vague. The person who answered the call didn't answer it within 3 rings. The person after hours unfortunately said Shasta County instead of Lassen County, which has happened many a times before. So basically what Idea Consulting is giving us the feedback so that when we ask them to test some of our stuff that we do in the actual contract, they're actually putting in a motion to make sure we're doing it correctly. So that we can show to the state that says, yeah, it's not just me, Tiffany, doing a test call and say, yeah, we're doing great. We have an outside consultant who comes in and actually verifies and vets that, yes, the department is doing it within the standards and within the time frame. Or maybe we're not. Maybe we need to train staff. Maybe we had a brand new person who was just hired and maybe missed that call when it came through and said something incorrectly. So we would go in and train that staff person to say, hey, based on our test calls, we need to make sure that you know how to answer those calls and to make sure you're giving out the information appropriately. So that's what we use Idea Consulting for.
So when you say a test call, that means they call your office and pretend they have a problem. or
Correct.
whatever, To see how your staff is going to answer their
question.
needs and issues.
So correct. So we do it both in English and Spanish. So Anna, who was just here to get her 10 years, she takes all of our Spanish calls, our Spanish test calls. And the reason why we did that is because in the years past, DHCS used to do test calls and we were not doing them. We just weren't doing them correctly. And so this way we're getting consistent training. We're doing 10 calls per month to make sure that we're consistently on our game when it comes to people in crisis who want to get some information. And we're making sure we're not just putting them on hold or leaving them. The phone just rings and rings and rings and nobody's answering. We don't want that. We want to make sure we're giving good, appropriate services to the.
How long are those test calls for?
How long?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, they could last up to 15, 20 minutes. Depending on what they're asking for. So if they ask for, how do you go about doing a fair hearing? The person on the call has to give them the whole process of how they go through the whole state fair hearing process. And we usually have scripts that they can read from.
And my question is that fair to somebody that's in need, but that person is tied up because they're having to be tested or something? I mean, is that? I mean, I don't know. Is it fair, right? I mean, I don't know.
I'd rather have them do the test call so we get it down. So when DHCS calls us and does a test call, we're on it. Because DHCS is they're mean. They will put us in a corrective action plan that we don't want to be put in.
Well, yeah, they got 700 pages worth of questions to ask you.
Correct. And then because they have to do it on both sides, drug and alcohol and specialty mental health services. Sorry. So hopefully I answer your questions. I mean, I know this is hard.
We gotta do that sometimes. Go ahead. Well done.
No, I appreciate your comments and explanation, and I was actually able to read this contract.
Okay, any other discussion? Anybody from the public? Okay, I need a, motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment with IDEA Consulting and authorize the county administrative officer or designate to execute the agreement.
Did you say agreement or amendment?
You said amendment.
That's what I thought I said, yeah. Should be approved.
No, I'm sorry, agreement. Agreement. I'm sorry.
There you go.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Bridges, seconded by Supervisor Scanlon. Anybody from the public? Seeing none, bring it back up here for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, H5.
So this is one of our standard contracts that I was talking about previously about locums. We use locums for our staffing for the whole year. So it could be anything from psychiatric services all the way through to therapeutic services from our therapists. So we're just continuing the contract for another year with them. We are currently using locums for a number of folks. So we want to continue to have them within our department. They've been great. And that's what we use locums for.
These guys specialize in temporary placement. What's a temporary placement? Is that a week or?
No, it depends on what we can discuss. Usually it's up to 1 year contract. Sometimes we extend it because we like that person so much. But other times it could be a 3-month contract. It could be 16 weeks. It could be 6 months. It just depends on the individual and what they're wanting to do. And so some people we've had literally for only 3 or 4 months, and then they say, okay, I want to move on. I want to do something else. And then we have to find another person through locums to cover that individual slot.
They have good recruiters?
Yeah, sometimes they still are employees. They're too good. I don't like that.
I know that does create problems and somewhat some panic in your departments because then you have a need with nobody to fill it. So
Correct.
we've talked about that in our board meeting.
Correct. It's not the perfect solution, obviously. We want to hire within the county. That's our goal.
Thank you.
One quick question. So there was a clause in there about we can't hire any of their people or steal them.
I know.
Shouldn't we put a clause in there that they can't steal ours?
I wish we could. That would be great. That people can pick and choose where they want to go after they leave the county. Yeah, I wish we could just do that because, it's hard. It's really hard even back in the day when I got my, master's degree and everything and I got licensed, it was kind of like, you would either move on or go somewhere else or you'd stay within the department. Now people, when they get their master's, are not coming into county mental health systems to get their hours. They can go anywhere. They can go through locums and do the exact same thing. And a lot of people are liking the idea of working from home. And that's the hard part is to attract a person to come in and say, gosh, I need you here full time. I need you here, physically here. A lot of people can do very well with telehealth, and there's still a large population that unfortunately cannot. And so we still have to have people physically here in our department. I know we talked a lot about this during the COVID times where, people were saying, hey, I think we can do away with having people in person. It just doesn't work for behavioral health. We definitely have to have people here in person, especially when we're working with kids. You would think it would be the opposite, that kids would love telehealth, not when it comes to trauma. We have found that trauma and kids, they definitely need a person in person, not through a screen. So we're gonna have to continue to use locums until we can figure out another way. But so far, they've been very good to us.
Okay, anybody from the public? Okay, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with locums.com LLC and authorize the county administrative officer designate to execute the amendment.
Agreement, second.
Okay. Motion made by Supervisor Bridges, second by Supervisor Albaugh. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, on to H6.
I'm still here.
Okay, I'm glad you haven't left yet.
I see you.
Thanks. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay, so this is an agreement between North Valley Behavioral Health. This is one of our psychiatric hospitals that we use for a lot of our severely mentally ill consumers. These are individuals that need long-term type care. They don't stay there permanently, but a lot of times they're getting stabilized before they can move into sort of like an IMD or whatnot. We currently have people at North Valley right now as we speak. So we're just asking the board to continue with the contract that we've been established with them for the last number of years. They do excellent services. Even the consumers who go there find that it's great hospital to go to.
Let's say they have 3 locations. Where are they at?
They're down in the valley. So most of them are like Yuba City. They have one in, I think, Sacramento. But they're on these different various campuses. So they have 3, but they're like 2 of them are on the same campus. And so it depends on the actual level of need for the consumer. So when they come through, they might need a higher level, or maybe they can go to maybe more of a moderate level in their same campus within the same North Valley umbrella.
I have a question.
Okay.
Now, this being a contract, how many, patients or clients does that cover? If it goes up, does the price go up, or how does that work?
It doesn't go up, but I'd have to come back to the board if we have, we don't know going through the course of the year how many people we're gonna have
Right,
served there. Since we have other hospitals that we can also choose from. But if during the course of the year that we found that we've exhausted that funding that we have set aside for it, then we would have to come back to the board and ask for additional funding to put people in there. We want to be very conservative going forward, but unfortunately, as you saw me last year, I had to come to the board a couple of times on numerous because we've exhausted it. We just don't know. I don't have that magic 8 ball to tell me exactly how many consumers that we're gonna have to
Have a
hospitalize.
magic ball.
No, I don't, unfortunately. We just do what we've done previously in the years past, and see if there's any trends that we can say, okay, we're gonna estimate this X amount of people to come through to use this particular hospital. But again, there's no absolute guarantee. Some person could come into this hospital and spend 3 months there. Or we might have a person that goes to North Valley and maybe spends 3 days there. It just depends.
I just really appreciate you being conservative.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you. That's the only questions I had.
Okay, is there anybody else? The one question I have is, I see that it's all coming out of the same funds and, have we already received our money for these funds for the year, or is?
That's based on this contract. Once we get the contract approved, then they can send us the funding for it.
Well, so that we bill the state after these?
Correct. So they'll send us a bill. Usually it's 30 to 90 days after the person has been in the psych hospital. We do it what we call a PAR, treatment authorization request. And then they get payment. We verify and vet the notes, making sure the notes from the doctor are all legit, making sure the client is actually a Lassen County resident. Once all that happens, then they issue us an invoice, a bill, and then we pay it from them. So it will take a couple months if anybody came in today, we probably would pay the bill for at least a month or 2. Just because it has to go through their process at the hospital, and then they send it to us. We have to vet it on our side, putting the contract, making sure it's all legitimate. We've had a number of cases where we've unfortunately had, Los Angeles, because it's county 19 instead of county 18. And so we have to make sure that they're actually legitimate Lassen County.
And then you're billing the state or
No.
the funds are already there?
The funds are already there. If they come through, they sit in our account, and then we use that to pay for these hospital bills.
So, and you have all the funds for that?
Correct. So we usually use behavioral health, MHSA, and drug and alcohol, just depending on the need of the client and what they're going there for treatment purposes.
All right. Well, I just noticed that all of them are coming out of all those accounts and,
We
you
usually
know,
use a
so
blend.
it's $767,000. Do we have that money in there?
700,000, I thought I put down.
Not on this particular, but the last three contracts that we went through, we've just spent $760,000, so
Correct.
I just was wondering if that's there.
Yeah, it's there. But again, it's hard to say it's there because again, money comes in and out all the time from our department.
It's a revolving door.
It is a very, very revolving door.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay. I need,
Public comment.
a public comment. Need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with North Valley Behavioral Health LLC and authorize the county administrative officer or designate to execute the agreement.
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Bridges. Seconded by Supervisor Alba. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, number 7.
Good day, Tiffany. Good job.
Poor Rhonda.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Rhonda Hall, and I'm from Lassen County Public Health, and I serve as a program coordinator. I've been there for 8 years now. We're coming to you with the amendment for our agreement between Matopio and Lassen County. Do you have any questions?
How come the dollar value is dropping?
Because this amendment is to extend it to a term to ensure the completion, and it is dropping because we didn't have to use all their services. We ended up doing a lot, like we didn't have them fly here. We were able to do a lot of Zoom. The project was kind of laid and dormant because we were missing a director. We had our nursing director who was in charge of it. She had left, so it kind of sat for a little bit. Nothing was done. And then about 6 months ago, I was asked if I would take over the needs assessment. And so that we just begin to do a lot of it on Zoom. And so that is one of the reasons.
Any other questions? Anybody from the public? Okay, seeing none, need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment with and authorize the county administrative officer or designate to execute the amendment.
Okay, let's see.
He always says, it's a match.
Yeah. Okay, and and motion made by Supervisor Bridges, second by Supervisor Alba, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you. You wear very many hats. Thank you.
Okay. Maury, do you have anything?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Unfortunately, I received resignation from the public health director this week. He'll be not joining us here at Lassen County. He's been here for, I don't know, 5 months, maybe now, maybe more like 4. But for a variety of reasons that were personal, nothing against the department, nothing against Lassen County. I had nothing but good things to say, but he will not be carrying on. So we will be recruiting accordingly.
Thanks. Okay, we're going to take a break.
And we'll go back and.
Yeah.
Stayed awake the whole time.